Hi guys, it's John back here with another final reveal video. This one I'm having to do downstairs in our living room because the kit subject is so big I can't fit it on a surface in my model room at the moment. It is of course the Airfix Boeing B-29 Super Fortress in 1/72nd scale, which was the one of the models that I had intended to build for the Bomber Command buddy build that Martin Lamont had hosted to finish at the end of last year. Well, I've finished it actually. It was finished just before I went on holiday about 4 or 5 weeks ago, but unfortunately I haven't been able to do a video or upload it on YouTube or anything. So what I thought I'd do is I'll use my stand but hand hold the video camera so that I can get a few angles around this really quite nice looking kit. I am actually quite impressed with the way this kit came out, quite proud of it actually. It's a really nice piece of work. The aircraft is of course an RAF Washington B Mark 1, which was the aircraft that was utilised and leased by the RAF as a stopgap when they found the Lincoln bomber couldn't carry the nuclear bomb that was available at the time. And then by the time the bombs were made small enough to go into a Lincoln's bomb bay, they were actually small enough to go into a Canberra's bomb bay. So the Canberra replaced the B-29 in the nuclear deterrent role. I'll just pan the camera up so you can have a quick look at this baby, because she is really nice. I've put her on top of one of my coffee tables here so you can get a good view of what she looks like. She is really nice. Just pan that back out a little tiny bit. There we go. The kit itself, I'm not going to lie, let's just say it wasn't a smooth build. It wasn't a terrible build. It was very enjoyable and very satisfying to put together. The kit's control surfaces all move, the elevators, the ailerons and the rudder. The undercarriage is fully retractable and all the propellers rotate. All the gun turrets rotate and elevate, including the tail turret, the tail gunner's position, which has a 20mm cannon that elevates as well. And the aircraft also has opening bomb doors to reveal the aircraft's bomb bays. And there are 2 bomb bays with the bomb loads loaded in. I'm not going to go too much into showing you all the stuff that works on it, because some of it is actually quite tight. It's quite a tight. The turrets themselves, they do rotate if you force them, but they are quite tight. The aircraft also received quite a lot of weight in the nose behind the cockpit's cabin area, but it wasn't enough to stop the aircraft sitting on its tail. So I did utilise the little ladder that goes into the rear doorway there, and it just props the tail up lovely, really nice. Couple of things I just want to show you. The underside of the aircraft is actually, it's really nice as well. Yeah, I was very impressed with this kit, the way it went together. It went together really nicely. I'll just turn around a little bit so you can see something on here that I want to show you. The tail gunner's position, if I can bring this video in just to show you this, the tail's gunner's position is actually very nicely crafted. And yes, the 20mm cannon does go up and down. You can see it move there quite nicely. Goes up and down quite nicely. It's a 20mm cannon, 2.30 machine guns on the side. And the undercarriage is dropping down. That's canny, isn't it? That wasn't the idea. I'll just pull this undercarriage leg back out. There we go. The main undercarriage wheels do retract quite easily, but the nose wheel will not retract past the doors. If you wanted to have the nose wheel retractable as well, you would have to glue the nose wheel doors in a wider fashion. That is not how they actually were, but you'd have to glue them so that they were clear of the recess to allow the wheel to pass between the 2 doors. At the moment it won't. I also want to bring your attention to the cockpit detail, because the cockpit detail on this kit is actually quite nice. I'll pull the kit round a little bit so you can have a good look at this. There's a bomb aimer in the bomb aimer's position there, and the framing, paintwork, and it actually came out really nice. I was really impressed. But there's actually two pilot figures, a bomb aimer in that cockpit bay. There's two instrument units and a fully detailed cockpit floor pan. It's actually, yeah, it is 1960s era detailing, and it's reasonably basic, but it is quite detailed in terms of what's going on inside there. And although it's difficult to see, you can see the pilots through that glazing, which I was quite impressed with. It's quite good. Also, I'll just turn this around a little bit. Also, in the back here, you've got 3 astrodomes, one on the top and 2 on the sides. And the 2 side astrodomes are actually viewing stations for the remote control gunners. And the top is a permanent viewing station for the remote control gunners from the rear. And you've also got one at the front here, which is a small astrodome, and that's a viewing station for the gunners' positions forward. The aircraft is actually, it's got a lot of parts, and it took quite a long time to put together. But the finished result, in my opinion, I think it is really nice. It's a nice kit. Very, very impressed. The transfers that I put on the aircraft, the decals, if you like, they were sourced from lots of different kits that I built in the past. And although the serial number on the aircraft is actually a fictitious serial number, XP836 was not actually a Washington B Mark 1, it was actually a Hawker Siddeley Harrier GR Mark 1. But it's just there to represent what should have been there, which I think was trying to remember what the registration number was. I think it was TB118, which was the aircraft that I'd actually copied as close to as possible. And unfortunately I couldn't get a TB or a 118, but that is basically what the tail fin on the Washington looked like. The ailerons all work. They might be a bit tight, but they do work. There we go. The elevators all work. There you go. The rudder shifts. It's a bit of a tight kit to shift, but it does shift. If I can get it to shift. That wheel really does like to try and go in, doesn't it? It's going in again. There we go. Yeah, the rudder does shift. There we go. It's quite tight, but it does shift. And that elevator does shift as well, but again it's quite tight. There we go. And the wheel's dropping in again. All the propellers rotate, which is quite nice. I'm trying best to steady this camera as best as possible whilst I put this baby in place. There we go. The underside, the bomb doors all open up. I don't know if I can get one of these bomb doors to open up. I probably can, just to show you what's going on inside the bomb bay. Hold on a minute, if I can get this to sit right. But basically they're a funny click action bomb bay door, and they're quite fragile, not easy to the idea was that you pulled them slightly and they should open up, but they're not easy to open up. I can't seem to get this one to open, but they do open eventually. You just have to play around with them a little bit. That one might open up a bit better, I don't know. It looks like it's going to, doesn't it? No. Yeah, they're quite tight. There we go, he's opened. And is that one opening? No, he's not, but I might be able to show you through that open door. They're very, very tight fitting bomb doors, probably because they're quite old. If I can just drop that towards the light, just drop this down a little bit towards the light. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll bring the camera around, and then you should be able to see the bomb bay and the illumination there. You can see the pressurized walkway in the bottom there, and you can also see the bombs, which are, they're quite faithfully depicted. There's 4 bombs on each side of the bomb bay on bomb racks, and the bomb racks sections at the bottom form the hinges for the bomb bay doors. And the Airfix Super Fortress kit is actually, it's a delight to build. It's very rewarding to build, but it's not easy to put together. There's quite a lot going on inside the fuselage before you put the fuselage halves together, and it's not an easy fit. It's not easy to locate everything correctly, and that undercarriage is trying to go back in again. There we go. There we go. It's not an easy fit. The aircraft isn't an easy fit to put together, but when it goes together and you've got everything sorted out on it, it's a very rewarding aeroplane. And the finish, it's a very impressive kit, quite large. The wingspan, I mean, I'm looking at the wingspan here, and it's at least 2 foot. It's a big kit. Certainly as big in size area-wise to display as the Airfix Avro Vulcan, which I did a final reveal of last year, and I'm very pleased with the results as this. Not probably as much as I am with the Vulcan. The Vulcan is one of the few kits I've actually kept. We'll get into that maybe one day when I tell you about what happens with all my models that I build, because there's no room to put everything, is there? But this kit is definitely one of the ones that I'm sort of contemplating. Yeah, do I keep this? I think I might, yeah. Because most of them I don't. Most of them I sell, unfortunately. But it makes way to build new kits and finance new kits, which is nice. So that's the Airfix Washington B Mark 1 from the Airfix Boeing Washington B Mark 1 in 72nd scale. This is the Bomber Command project build for Martin Lamont's Bomber Command build that he finished in October last year, and I was pretty sad that I couldn't get any of these kits finished in time. Most of the kits for that buddy build are actually still being finished now, and not been. This is the first one of that unit that I've actually. Sorry, no, it's the second one. The Ferry Battle was the first one. This is the second kit that I finished for that buddy build, and unfortunately, it didn't get done and finished until late May. But I couldn't get the video out because I was on holiday for 4 weeks, and a very good time I had with that too. It was very, very enjoyable. So anyway, that's the Airfix B29. I hope this video has been of use to you. There will be a build progress video which will be quite illuminating, I'm sure. And yeah, so thanks for joining in, thanks for tuning in, and I hope all your model projects go very smoothly and you enjoy what you're doing. Thanks for now. I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye.